My name is Murray Turnbull, and I'm a life master in the United States Chess Federation. My rating went over 2200, which is the borderline of master, and I kept my rating over 2200 for 300 plus tournament games. And in fact, my last rating, they say your last rating is your current rating, so my last rating was 2390. It's about 15 years old by now. I haven't played tournaments in the last 15 years. I played tournaments a lot from 1970 until 1990, and I became a master in 1981. So I spent 9 years playing 300 plus tournament games. It's hard to make money, make your living playing chess from tournament winnings. The total number of players in the whole country who make their living from tournament winnings is probably 10, maybe 15. I'm able to make a living well enough to support one individual. I couldn't have a family on my income. I'm here in a week when the weather is warm, 11, 12 hours a day in July anyway, 10 hours a day anyway. And sometimes it's 7 days a week, so that would be 70 hours that I would be here. Basically, when I don't have a game, I study. And occasionally I just drop everything and watch the people walk by and so forth, right? But a large percentage of the time I'm now, is that a bird? Something just fell out of the tree, it seems to me. Yeah, there's one way up there, but he flew. See, as soon as I looked and saw him, he left, because he knows the next step is the squirt gun. The squirt gun is a way of keeping birds from getting up in the tree and pooping all over everything. And originally, I would reach up and shake the branch, right? But sometimes they cut the branches too high for you to reach them, right? And so one day, a friend of mine, Hugo, who's a colorful character, he all of his clothing and everything he found in dumpsters. And he rides a bike everywhere. He claims to have come from Mars. And he has stories he can tell about Mars. Like on Mars, everybody has their own personal nuclear weapon. And so therefore everybody's very polite to everybody else. Anyway, he showed up one day with a Super Soaker, a small version, right? And he offered to sell it to me for the cost that he bought it for, like $4 or something. And I said, what would I want that for? And he said, to get the birds. And I said, right? So then what he did is, without being asked or anything, he went and he filled it up. And he walked around the cafe and he squirted all, and he cleared out all the birds from the cafe with this thing. And that sold me. So I said, all right, I'll buy it. And that's the whole point of it, is to keep the birds out of the trees. So I don't bother with the ones when they're down there. In fact, people down there, sometimes they just got pooped on. They asked to borrow my squirt, and I said, hey, why do you think they're down there? So I don't want them squirting them down there. I want them trained to be down there. I say, buy your own squirt gun. And nobody has yet. It's amazing to me, but nobody has gone up. So I guess, unless you're here as much as I am, but I've been hit everywhere. I was even hit in the eye once. So, one year, 1960, a tornado came through Schenectady, New York, which is where I live. The tornado went right over our house and it knocked down all the trees on the back lot. And so that summer, there were guys with chainsaws out there cutting up all the trees, and my mother wouldn't allow us to go out and play in the backyard because she didn't want us getting our hands cut off. She was a little bit overprotective, I would say. One day I was playing with Doug Luban, who lived across the creek from us. And we must have been bugging his older brother, Chris. So Chris taught both me and Doug the moves of chess one afternoon, and I played a couple games with Doug. And ever since then, I've played chess. So a tornado basically is responsible for me learning how to play chess. Originally, Bobby Fischer was my chess hero. As would be expected, an American kid, you know. When in 1960 even, Bobby Fischer had made some headlines. I had given up chess completely from 1967 to 1970 because I was going to Harvard and I was thinking of becoming a writer and stuff like this. So anyway, Fischer himself was retired in those years. He played very little, if at all. And then in 1970, he reactivated himself, and that probably had something to do with myself getting back into chess. But now, I have respect for lots of different players. My all-time favorite player is Emanuel Lasker, who was a German Jew. I think he came from Berlin, and he died in New York City in 1940-something. He had to flee Germany, obviously, from 1933 on. And he wound up, as many players did in those days, in America. And he was champion from 1894 until 1921. So he had a long reign. And it took a long time for me to really appreciate how great of a player he was. But he's currently, whenever anybody asks me who was the best player of all time, I say Lasker. I used to play in Harvard Square in coffee houses, like the Algiers Cafe, which is still over on Brattle Street, and the Idler was sort of a restaurant bar cafe. The Idler finally closed down in 1981, I think. And for a while, we went downstairs from Pizzeria Uno. There's a bar, something that had plenty of space. So we were there for a little while, and then I got the idea to come out here and put up a sign, play the Chessmaster for $1.25 it was originally. And I made, I was going to a computer school to learn COBOL. And I was doing this in my spare time to make just a little extra money. But then the next year, Au Bon Pain came in, and the chess tables were put up. And I found I could do it full time. I found I could make a living. So ever since then, 1982, I've been doing it full time here. When I'm not playing chess, I'm often watching chess on the Internet Chess Club. I read. I read a biography of Julius Caesar, and I'm about 2/3 of the way through a biography of Alexander the Great. The range of personalities among good chess players is about as wide as the range of personalities in anybody. I mean, you can't be a dullard and be a good chess player. But, you know, all good chess players have pretty flexible minds, you know, when it comes to thinking about problems and all. Oh, by the way, there are dullards who play chess. They're just not good chess players, that's all. But, you know, anybody can play chess, and even a dullard can have fun playing chess.